Hello faculty and staff. In this video, I'm going to introduce and describe the research and sponsored programs Enter Letter of Intent and demonstrate how to navigate to and enter the appropriate form data for this application. The purpose of the Enter Letter of Intent application is to 1. Signify your readiness to apply for external funding to RSP. 2. To upload any attachments that RSP will need to edit and complete the application or use. And 3. To provide necessary information that RSP will include when routing the proposal before it is submitted. You will be required to use the Enter Letter of Intent function because it allows the RSP staff to easily discern and organize the numerous pieces of information regarding the proposal, such as title, funding agency, deadlines, and so on. Plus, the added efficiency and ability to quickly access this information will benefit both you and the RSP department. Additionally, the documents that you, the faculty, or staff may have prepared will be securely uploaded via the LOI application rather than sending these documents through voluminous emails, which can take large amounts of email data space. Using this PeopleSoft process will also introduce you to using the system for which you will be required to use for routing as opposed to the hard paper routing system that the university and RSP has previously used. You will use the Enter Letter of Intent application when you have an idea of what funding you would like to apply for, and after you have completed some of the precursory steps toward applying, such as document gathering and editing. Okay, so now let's demonstrate how you'll access the RSP Enter Letter of Intent application. Begin by logging into WaveNet, and then navigate to the RSP Letter of Intent link in the faculty view under Academic Resources, or in the staff view under the Staff Resources pull-down. Click on the RSP Letter of Intent link to open the Enter Letter of Intent application. Starting at the top of the application, there will be a document ID along with a proposal number. To the right of that, there's an attachments icon where you will attach the supporting documents. More on this later in this video. At first glance of the form, you'll notice that a number of those field entries have an asterisk in the field title. That's a key indicator that that field requires an entry. And take note that the application cannot be submitted if it is left blank. In the abbreviated title field, enter a short title that's no longer than 30 characters max. The title field is required and is used to elaborate on the project name and has a maximum limit of 100 characters. The brief description is also a required entry, and note this field has no character length limitations. Optionally, you may enter the school or unit. Use the lookup icon to help with the correct selection. The project director / PI field is required, and the lookup icon is available to populate the field with the CWID. The 5-digit department code is required, and the lookup icon is available to determine your department number if not known. Note, the lookup search will automatically populate with your department number when the correct CWID is entered. And the position number is also a required entry and is an 8-digit number that describes the project director's job position. Note that this lookup is also based off the two previous fields, project director and department. If they're filled in, then the position number is automatically listed in the search results. The location code is not a required entry. However, if there is a need to identify your office location, a lookup location code search function is also available to help you identify your office location. Telephone and email address is not required, however, it is automatically filled in as a result of the information entered from above. There are two co-project director/PI entries that should include a co-PI if known. Otherwise, you may leave it blank. Moving on to the classification section, purpose is not required. However, it is helpful to identify from the pull-down list the project purpose. Nevertheless, if what is selected needs to be changed, that can be done after this form is submitted. The source field is required and will consist of the origin of the funding from which the project funds will be awarded. It is especially important to indicate federal if it is so, as there are additional regulations and requirements which may need to be followed, as this will be very helpful to RSP. However, this field may also be changed after the fact if originally labeled incorrectly. If the funding flows through another organization before being awarded to Pepperdine, then we are the sub-awardee or subrecipient. If the money comes directly from the funder to Pepperdine, then we are the prime awardee. The grant type is required and is typically a sponsored project. If the funding agency is not found in the lookup list, then please leave it blank and RSP will add it later. The deadline date for the proposal should be entered if known. If there is no hard deadline date, then it may be left blank. If the award has a rolling date, then enter it and effort will be made to meet that date. Now, with all entries complete, and before you submit the LOI, be sure to attach the necessary documents such as a budget or a budget justification or CV. Note that if you do select submit and there are no attachments, a message prompt will appear alerting you. By clicking on the cancel button in the message pop-up, it will allow you to return to the application and attach the appropriate documents. Otherwise, this LOI will be submitted and you can no longer attach your documents to this proposal. Select the attachments icon at the top of the application. This opens up the proposal attachments view. Select the attach button and a file attachment pop-up view appears. Select Browse to navigate to the folder location where the document is located. Use the Additional Attachment button to attach another document, and you may attach as many documents as needed. Select OK to return to the Enter Letter of Intent main page. At this point, you should have all required fields filled in, and they've been answered to the best of your ability. Note that any of those entries can and may be changed after the Office of Research and Sponsored Programs has reviewed it. Also note that this letter of intent is saved only when you successfully submit, as there is no Save button to temporarily save any part of the LOI. Consequently, you must complete the form as best as you can and then add the attachments and then submit. And be mindful that if WaveNet is idle for 30 minutes, it will automatically log you out, and any or all entries will be lost, requiring you to start the proposal entries again. Select the Submit button if all required fields have been entered and the supporting documents are attached. You will then see that the LOI submission was successful. Now select the OK button. Upon selection of the OK button, a read-only view of your letter of intent will be displayed. If you are finished with this or any WaveNet activity, be sure to log out. That's it. Thank you for watching.